cuties, if no one has told you already today, I want you to know that you are a go-getter. For those of you that are new, welcome, I am Jem, and in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be discussing all about your career. In pick a card readings, you can view them how you like, you can watch the whole video, or you can watch whatever catches your eye, as long as you take what resonates and leave the rest. Disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only, you decide your own future and you have your own free will. Also know that every reader reads differently. I tend to read very candidly and honestly, so warning, there will be deep messages. And before we hop into this video, I want to let you guys know the different ways you can help on my channel. One is by checking out my DEPOP. I sell personal readings, linked in the description, 20 minutes of any deck you like, unlisted for your eyes only. And then obviously my Instagram. Also, I have an Amazon wish list of decks that I desire if you are feeling generous. Know that any donations to me are extremely appreciated but not expected. I thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. The number one best way you could help is clicking that subscribe button. So let's hop into the piles. So the first pile we have for pile 1 is dimes. 5 cents, dimes. Wait, dimes are 5 cents, right? Or dimes are 10. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. 10. And it's a dime. So dimes, like 10 out of 10 could be something significant. Dimes could be significant. If that resonates, you may want to pick pile 1, as well as the image here for pile 1. Next pile we have is quarters. Each one is worth 25 cents, and anything to do with a quarter, maybe quarter of something, is significant, and the image for the quarters. And then lastly we have pennies. Pennies are 1 cent and made out of copper, I believe. So if that resonates, anything to do with that for pile 3, you may want to choose pile 3, as well as the image. Okay, let's hop into this reading. Hello, my beautiful pile 1s. Your pile... So I shuffled everything off camera, and I really felt called to use this tarot deck because it matches the colors that we were given up here when I shuffled these. So I'm using the Tarot of Divine, I believe. Yes. It's basically a bunch of like folklore, mythology, Greek mythology, all these different like stories is depicted for each tarot card. Which is a beautiful, I love that deck so much. Which is actually a 10 out of 10 deck. I voted on my channel, so that's so funny. And we got the dime, and I said 10 out of 10. So you could be a person who's just 10 out of 10, like looks-wise, mentality, you know, determination, spirits, kindness. Like you're just an overall 10 out of 10. Everything's, you know, fantastic. I think one of the things is, when it comes to, so some of the messages when it comes to your career, you could be someone who, you got the Otter and the Queen of Wands. So the Otter is someone who's very childlike. They have this great sense of wonder and positivity and optimism about your career. It's a bit of naive, immaturity a bit though, because this person, like the Otter's kind of like not experienced much with the realities of life, but they have this great sense of childish, inner child, you know, optimism, which don't let, you know, I know I said like it's still a little bit immature because you haven't really faced the hard realities of life. But don't let those hard realities of life change your optimism. Keep staying optimistic. This is probably the best quality you can have as a career chaser, because you don't let people hold you back, and you're going to stay optimistic no matter what. You don't let you fall into pessimism and like, you know, stop yourself. I think with the Queen of Wands is someone who's very fiery, very passionate, a goal-getter, you know, chases what they desire and pursues it with determination and a lot of passion. Sometimes you, though, might get into a very fiery energy to the point where you burn yourself out very quickly because you chase after something so much that you quickly get burnt out, and it like just the flame. It's like the Queen of Wands is supposed to represent like fire, like the wand is a fire, and it's like it may you may have so much energy at once that it's like you quickly burn it out, and then you become burnt out and exhausted and just tired to the point where it's like you do so much of this project that you get sick of it, and you may fall into changing your mind, changing options very quickly. And that's something that I think this is definitely saying here is your commitment is being tested to whatever it is you're pursuing. Maybe find a more structured, balanced way of doing this rather than doing it all at once and trying to make it perfect at once, because create more of a reasonable schedule. Don't kill yourself over this immediately because you will quickly get burnt out, and you'll see that. Maybe create more of like a thing where you can maintain a reasonable amount of passion and determination. So like, for example, one thing you could do is today I will work 5 hours on the project. Tomorrow I will work another 5, or give myself a break. Don't do it all day. You're gonna freaking go insane. Instead, like, give yourself a time, give yourself some breaks, step back from it. Also allow yourself to miss it and want it, because the more you indulge in it, the less you're going to want to continue to do it. Give yourself some time to like miss it and want to go back into it. We also have spontaneity and taking risks. I think there's a risk that you have to take and say yes to. When it comes to your career, it says the 8 of Cups, kind of like fleeing this wealthy family to go explore and find commitment on your own. So this could be literally like you're maybe a message soon is, or something you may be dealing with right now is branching out from maybe your home life. You could have been provided a lot of abundance or wealth. Like you could come from a family that's maybe wealthy or is good off, and they provided you a lot. I don't know why I can't really breathe right now. But it's like you are exploring on your own. You're leaving the house. You're moving away. Escapism, going into introspection too. It's like this kind of reminds me of like the Hermit card, like but it's not. It's like you're leaving the home. It talks about in the 8 of Cups, you're leaving the home. It's like the Moses story where he sees something he doesn't agree with in his house, and like how they raised the Egyptian, empire or whatever, and he doesn't agree with it, so he leaves, and he ends up discovering himself spiritually. That could be something related to you. Maybe you're spiritual, or there's some sort of maybe spiritual path for you that is maybe you need to say yes to and continue that journey. I think also with the 8 of Cups, it talks about finding yourself and finding what it is that you want. It's like not allowing. Let me get the 8 of Wands out. I meant 8 of Cups. Walking away, introspection, escapism, withdrawal, seeking the truth, and also seeking the truth, like seeking what it is, maybe what you want, what is the truth, what it is, figuring out who you are, doing some introspection, escaping. There could be something that maybe you need to escape from. For example, not like actually escape, but there could be some sort of ideology or family living that you need to escape from that you might need to say yes to. And this could also be just maybe leaving a situation, because there was a couple of other messages that talked about walking away from something and starting off on your own. So that could be a message saying like maybe you need to start off on your own. We have also snakes, like 2 snakes here. There could be someone that there could be a snake. We have your commitment is being tested underneath that. There could be like this devil entity, or it could be a literal person. This could be some sort of possible other career, or this could be some sort of person that maybe is testing your commitment. It might make things harder for yourself. This could be something that you, and maybe even within you, this is something, an element within you, like your devilish shadow side is coming out a bit, and something that you may desire as your shadow aspect, like something that you would consider maybe not a good quality, or like some desire you may not be too proud of, what I'm saying, could be maybe getting in the way of your ultimate goal and vision you have for yourself, and it's saying like your commitment is being tested. This could be maybe an easy way of making money. This could be maybe like you're getting greedy, because it talks about the Queen of Coins being greedy. There could be maybe like the mentality of quick money is maybe getting in the way. And I think one thing you need to make note of is money isn't your overall goal, and it shouldn't be. Obviously, you need money to survive, but you need to also see, like, if there's a couple passions that you want to chase after and have a bunch of different things you want to do, you have to give one your full attention and focus, and the other one comes secondary as a hobby. Don't put the hobby first, because you will quickly, and especially if you feel like you'll get quick money from it, don't fall into the devilish quick greed, quick materialism, from what that may provide, because that is a risky path and could be a bit dangerous, and end up might screwing you later down the line, because you're making a deal with the devil, basically. That's like the thing. I think also with the Queen of, your commitment is being tested. This also says to recommit yourself. I think you need to maybe recommit yourself to the first goal you had. I'm also kind of getting like relationship like mentality here. If it doesn't resonate, don't take it, but this could be mirrored in your job as well as a relationship. You may need to recommit yourself to your relationship. Like, what is your overall goal? Where do you see yourself? What is it that you or what is the goal that you have decided on? Stick with it, and stick whatever you have made commitment to, you may need to, your commitment is being tested. It says also, know that this is the universe's way of throwing shit at you. Like, they're literally throwing rocks and blockages in your way for you to overcome. If you just give up and say, oh, like, this is just not meant for me, then that's how it will end, that situation, that path for you. If you allow it to stop you, you will be stopped, but you can overcome those. They are testing if your commitment is true and authentic, and if you are determined to stick with this forever. Like, they want to see, they're throwing all the shit at you to see if you're willing to stay focused on this. Because you never know, if you continue to stay focused, if you continue to push, there could be a lot of abundance and luck in the future coming for you. If this, for example, like, if you have a hobby, right, that's off of like maybe your main goal, and it's something that you want to pursue, I would say yes, pursue it. Don't, stop it. Like, you could continue to do it and continue to do this hobby, but don't let it get in the way of your main goal. I think this is the overall message. I think also in relationship wise, there could have been someone you maybe have committed to, and maybe have needed to take a break from, or take some rest with, or maybe the energy and the passion quickly burnt out, and there could be there's maybe a lot of challenges facing this relationship, and this could be saying your commitment is being tested right now. This specific relationship might be something that's very good for you, but you may need to have some space or distance in order to have some introspection, and really be true to what it is that you want. Like, for example, like, you may need some space from this person, or a breakup, or just, space from them, so you can do some introspection, heal yourself. They talked a little bit about healing, going onward with yourself, and realizing that your commitment still lies with them. Like, you need to go through this like path of like reflection and seeing like, this person is meant for me. This person, I choose, I want to be with this person, and I'm committed now to be with this person, or I'm committed to work on things, but maybe there just needs to be some space, a bit of space for you to realize that. Like, the distance will help you realize that. And something you may need to learn and heal, something specific within you that you need to heal. And that also relates with the job. Maybe you need some space from this situation to realize that is something you want to go after. Another thing too with the Queen of Coins, it says a healer. You could be someone who's healing. We also have a bit of, but I think you're a little bit in your shadow realm right now. With the Queen of Wands, like maybe you're chasing the bag too much and it's saying you need a bit of a break. You could also possibly be so indulged in your work, because there might be something underlying that you are afraid to face and you aren't healing properly from. It's like the devil. It's literally like the devil's still lingering. It's still there, and you're like trying to run away from it. And it's like, listen, you need to face it. You need to face these shadow aspects. You need to face the devil and confront it. Face like right away and confront it. And maybe some introspection will also help you do that. I think you might need to rest a little bit about this work. Take a break a bit. It's still going to be there. That work is still going to be there. You could still grow. Not everything has to be done right now. And maybe take this time to heal and give yourself the time to heal. But that could definitely be a message. And then with the Queen of Cups in reverse, it talks about jealousy, possession, a lack of organization, manipulation. There could still be maybe manipulation going on in the relationship. Like maybe you are a little bit manipulative about your emotions, or it could be because of jealousy as well. Some jealousy you may be having, and it's saying like maybe to do some reflection on what things you may do or what things you may say that might come off as a little bit manipulative. And it could be because of your emotions. For example, you might try to emotionally manipulate someone by showing that something upsets you. For example, like saying like, telling someone, you doing this makes me upset, or almost like threatening that you'll get upset with something that they do. Like that could come off as manipulative, and you might not even realize, but that could be something with the manipulation. Also possession. You could be maybe possessive of a relationship. This could also just be possessive of a career. That might be, you might need to pull ties away from it a bit, do some introspection. Who are you if you don't have this job? Who are you if you didn't do this path? You'll still be the same person. You don't need this. And that's something that I think is very important. I think jealousy could definitely be a big thing. You could be jealous of other people and what they have. You could be jealous of, the wealth, the finances, the, other partners other people may have. And you need to realize that you don't see what's behind closed doors. You don't see the things they face or the difficulties they have as well. You only see the good aspects, and they may even be facing things worse than you. And then lastly, we have the Luck and the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords talks about paranoia a bit. And you could be very paranoid about your luck. Like maybe you feel like everything's against you, or that you are just having bad luck with a certain situation. And it could be maybe like your love life, or it could literally just be with career. Like maybe you feel like you're just having bad luck with your career. Maybe you aren't getting the abundance you aren't getting exactly what it is that you are wanting right now. Like you want to get paid, you want to be flourishing in money, and it's like you're worried that because you're in such a difficult time right now, you're not getting paid much, you're maybe in like poverty, or like you're having a very difficult time maybe being on your own and out of the house or away from this support. You're like worried that you won't be able to survive on your own, and it's saying like your commitment is being tested. Your commitment to yourself is being tested. You need to stay determined within yourself and know that you can provide your own support with your financial wealth. Stay committed to this financial wealth, because right now you're in the dumps, but it will come back. It's like a cycle. Everything goes down, must go up. You're at a rough time, and this should be a sign that it's going to go up. Like when you hit rock bottom, it always goes up. Like, don't give up. Keep pushing. Nine of Swords. I literally just had it, and then okay, so you might be having anxiety, terror, nightmares, obsession, or insomnia about your career, your future, your stability. And this is saying, yes, you may be having really bad luck right now, but it doesn't mean that will be that way forever. You could be also trying to predict the future and worrying about the future. Stop worrying about the future. Worry about now. Stop thinking about the future. Every time you think of the future, like, have a thought and be like, hey, remind yourself, don't think about the future. It's not about the future, think about now, because you can never predict the future. The future's always changing. Okay, that is all I have with that. Let's now pull your messages and let's see. What are some messages that your ancestors or spirit guides may have for you about your career? Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3. I love the colors. You have a lot of green, and green talks about wealth, and it could also talk about jealousy, envious. Working at a miserable job. You could be working at a miserable job right now that might not be doing you justice, and this is saying to maybe leave it and take the risk of saying yes to something you're maybe more passionate about. You shouldn't force yourself to work at a miserable job. And I know you may need to financially need it for stability, but maybe you could apply for a job while you're still working at this job, so you can take a gradual transition and leave this place and say yes to possibly a risk. This is saying yes to a risk, escaping this prison, and this new path of passion. 1, 2, 3. We have burnt out. You could definitely be very burnt out by this career. Maybe you're pushing so hard on it, working so much, and it's just burning you out. And I think something else too is remind yourself to try not to burn yourself out when it comes to maybe this more passionate career path you take. For example, like set good work hours so you don't kill yourself or end up getting easily bored or tired of this. You want to keep this passion of like you want to go to work, 2, 3. We have insecurities. There could be possibly insecurities about your finances. Maybe you're feeling insecure that you don't have enough money, so you're jealous of other people's money, or you could be jealous of other people's abundance. For example, in a relationship, like jealous of how somebody else is maybe financially supported, and that could be something that you're like, oh, I wish I was financially supported, and jealous of that. And maybe that's something you need to let go of and realize that they are probably dealing with other shit that you may not even be dealing with now, and you're probably like so much better off that this is the only issue you have to face, is being able to financially support yourself, instead of them dealing with abuse, or them dealing with disrespect, or like something like that. Taking it slow. Take it slow. Whatever it is you're pursuing, take it slow. Move slowly. Take it at a gradual pace. Stability. This is how you build stability within yourself. Create a healthy schedule. Routine. Something you could actually do. Moves very slowly. I think you need to move very slowly. And luck will move very slowly. The amount of abundance, no matter how quick you work on something, the abundance that you gain is going to be slow. That's how you gradually work on things. It's gonna take time. You can't expect, Ferrari's $1 million after cramming and working so hard on something. Yes, you worked really hard and you should be proud of yourself, but know that this is not stable. This is not something you can sustain. You need to gradually build this empire. Okay, thank you so much, Pi One. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. Thank you. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile twos. If you chose the second pile, this will be your reading on what career advice you may need, or just a career reading for you. So, one thing off the bat is you are good enough. That is a big message being expressed here. You are good enough to overcome whatever it is. I think you need to have more faith in yourself. I think you have to have more faith that the situation can turn out. You could also be looking maybe very pessimistically about things or very critically about things. It says you could be worrying too much and that will attract more things to worry about. Have you been overcritical? An apology might be in order, maybe to apologize to someone else or apologize to yourself for being overcritical. It also says stop second guessing yourself. You can do it. You could overcome whatever. It also says raise your karma by doing something good for someone else. So definitely the message, you are good enough. Maybe it's for a certain job opportunity that you're like, oh, am I good enough to do this? Yes, you are. The turtle here, it says represented an ancient soul, a grounded and trusting at home in the self. So you could be someone who has a very old soul, someone who's also grounded, as well as someone who goes with the flow and allows experiences to come to them. But it's also it's like they're in the river, like they move, they're not moving too slowly, but they're still grounded, but they're still on the move. It says trusting, and you could feel comfortable at home, like more comfortable at home. You could be very in with yourself at home, like you appreciate alone time at home. I think you could also possibly be Virgo, because Virgo, there's really strong Virgo energy here. Or you could just have a Virgo maybe in your Pluto. That could be very significant. I think sorry. I don't know why I got hit with some tiredness, but there could also be a Scorpio here, because we have Scorpio. There's a little bit of Libra, a little bit of Aquarius. This could just be also, we have Gemini and Cancer. Those could be like a little bit of sprinkled maybe in your chart somewhere that maybe is being discussed. Or this could just be representing someone else viewing this video. But the turtle, though, is in reverse, and this talks about slowing down to a halt. So you could be definitely stuck with a blockage currently. You could be someone who definitely gets a lot of experiences and likes to tell stories, be like a storyteller, a great writer or storyteller. You collect a lot of life experiences under that shell to use for later purposes, such as maybe book writing. Maybe you like to write books. I think with the Knight of Cups here in reverse, it says moodiness, disappointment, overreactive, imagination, jealousy. So you could be having an overreactive imagination, maybe overthinking a lot, worrying a lot, creating all these different things to worry about, even though it's like you're creating these things to worry for you. They're not actually like something to worry about. You could also be quite moody. Maybe there's a little bit of jealousy involved, being jealous of maybe what an opportunity that was given to someone else, or something else of another person, being jealous of what they have. There could also be disappointment. Maybe you're feeling disappointed in a certain situation with something, and there could also be some moodiness, maybe of because of this jealousy or because of this insecurity you may have, or because you may feel like you're not good enough. And that's where you need to resolve those issues and realize you are good enough. You can do just as much as that person does. There's no need to be jealous of them. If anything, you should cheer them on and, be happy for them, but also know that you can accomplish the same thing as well. And maybe that path that they have is not for you. Maybe things that they have or experiences that they face are what they need to face for their life. They are living a different life than you are. You may be facing certain things different than them, but they could be facing some very difficult things behind closed doors that you may not even realize. I think with the face, something's face, someone's face could be significant. I don't know. Because I guess we do have her face here, but I meant to say faith. We have upright betrayal, deception, getting away with something, acting strategically, trickery. You could be possibly being a bit of manipulative by deceiving someone or something. Maybe because of the lack of communication. Maybe you aren't really communicating fully. Getting away with something, acting strategically, trickery. Maybe you need to start communicating what it is you want and what it is you desire without trying to manipulate someone into staying or deceiving people into getting what you want. I think you should just communicate what it is that you want and say, hey, like, I want to do this. Is that okay? Like, getting like their mutual respect and consent for whatever it is that they are, you are asking them to do. And it says, I think to have faith in the fact that you are good enough for someone to be okay with providing whatever it is that you desire. Like, for example, you may feel like you have to trick people into loving you, or that you have to trick people or control people because you're afraid that, if they find out the real you, they're not going to love you, or that because you're not good enough for them. That is a big thing that might hinder your relationships, your connections, your even career. And that might be, you could be very like a chess player when it comes to your career and like trying to manipulate people or be deceptive when it comes to your career. And maybe that's something you really need to resolve. And then we have the Queen of Cups here: compassion, comfort, calm, nurturing, healing. I think more an energy you want to pursue and engage in is someone like this, someone who's compassionate, who's comforting, who's calm, who's nurturing, healing, emotionally stable, intuitive, and caring. Someone who isn't looking to deceive people, is looking to be honest and be caring and compassionate and understanding of whatever it is that they choose, and know that they have their own choice and their own say. I think also believing this in yourself, to having compassion for yourself, healing yourself, being more emotionally stable, releasing this jealousy and enviousness on whoever, because knowing that everyone has their shit, everyone goes through their own things, and just because you feel like your life may not be perfect doesn't mean that their life is perfect. No one's life is perfect. I think you may need to get centered. You might need to meditate, really get your thoughts clear on what it is that you um are looking to do. What is your future plan? What is it? Who do you want to be now? Who are you now? Um what do you seek in a partner? What do you seek as a career? Who will you be without this career? And what other path you could take? I think also maybe just get centered, meaning groundedness, needing to find groundedness. Um, I think you may be overly grounded, to be honest, because this is in reverse. So I think you already are grounded, especially because if you're a Virgo or an Earth sign, you could be already very grounded and very stable in where you are right now, and it's very safe and comforting. But now you might need to take a risk and get into the uncomfortable situation in order to move forward, because I think you're facing a blockage that is causing you to stop moving, and this is saying like you need to change things in order to continue this movement down the river. Like there's like a rock in front of this turtle and the turtle can't get past it, and it's like you need to change your um, perspective to find a solution or different path. With the Judgment card underneath that, it says Judgment, Rebirth. Yeah, definitely a rebirth, inner calling, some new phase, some absolution, some reckoning, some awakenedness. You need to, like, find some self-awareness or realization with something that could, a new perspective on this idea that could possibly help you move forward. Because you could definitely be stuck about this situation. And I think, in the future, it may have something to do with marriage. One message I was getting when this marriage card came out was you might have regret or failure or disappointment if you marry someone and become financially dependent on someone. So that could be a really small message for some of you, but maybe you were like, someone who moves down the path of experiences, and you maybe are stuck in possibly a relationship where maybe you feel like you're not good enough to provide financially, and maybe this is God's way, or your spirit guide's way, or your ancestors' way of showing you that you need to face this path right now so you can provide financially for yourself. You are good enough to provide for others. I think that could be definitely a big message, and I think you could be having fears maybe, or pessimism, or like worrying that you might be like, oh, maybe I should just marry into wealth, or like be financially dependent on someone, and this may bring you a lot of regret, failure, disappointment, and pessimism in the long run. That's what I'm getting from this message. If it doesn't resonate, ignore it. But you could be jealous of people, like maybe you're jealous of other relationships where someone is like, being financially supported by their significant other, and it's like maybe you're like, oh, that's something I want, but it's like not something that you're being given with your love life, or maybe you're in a relationship, or maybe there's just no one there to do that for you, and it's saying like there's a reason, and the reason is because you need to be the one to financially support yourself. This is the path for you. This is their way of teaching you and showing you that this is what you need to live through with this lifetime. This is a lesson you need to live with this lifetime. I think, and also another message, you might realize that if you do marry for wealth, you're going to regret it, and it's not going to be like what you expected. That could be a message, or this could also just be a message. You could be predicting that your future and this marriage is going to be a failure, or you could be very pessimistic. Maybe this is saying like not to be so concerned about this and worrying so much about this, because maybe if you do marry for finances, maybe it won't be as bad as you thought. Obviously, I'm not really sure exactly what direction this message is trying to say. I assume the first one I said, I think you will regret it, because I think you do want to I think the reason why you would marry into finances is not because, like, this, in this message, this person, like, I feel like it's because you believe you're not good enough. And that's the only reason to why you would marry for money. Or marry, not marry for money, but marry with someone who could financially depend, like, you could be financially dependent on. And it's not because that you care about them, or that, you know, well, I mean, you could care about them, but it's like, this could be a big reason to why you marry, and marry specifically for the finances. And this is saying, stop being greedy about that, and stop deceiving or maybe tricking yourself into thinking that you need to do this, and that you need to be okay off with that, and that you are, you know, maybe you're just not supposed to be someone who, um, you know, chases a career and can be like a stay-at-home mom or something, or stay-at-home dad. This is saying, like, you're only thinking this way right now is because you feel you are not good enough. And you need to have faith in yourself and know that you are good enough to conquer whatever. And this is, your spirit guides and ancestors are forcing you to go through this wave, this blockage, to realize that you are good enough and this is not an option for you. Like, it could be an option, but it's saying, like, you're gonna regret it because you're gonna still feel in that connection that you're not good enough to accomplish it on your own. Okay, I feel like that's what that another message is coming. So yes, I think you may need to find forgiveness for yourself and a redemption for yourself to break out the shackles and have a rebirth of this new person, new human being of betterness, like becoming a better person. Excluding this betrayal, this manipulation, this jealousy, or whatever, this moodiness, and being someone who is compassionate, healing, emotionally stable, intuitive, and caring, but also respects themselves, know their worth, and knows that they're good enough. I think also you may have struggled with maybe an ego, like a big ego, just because there could be underlying insecurities that, for example, believing you're not good enough could be a big insecurity you may have that you compensate with a super ego or bigger ego to protect yourself. And it may lead you to being someone who is bitchy, or not like bitchy. It's good to be bitchy sometimes. When I say bitchy, not in like a, you know, there's good reasons to be bitchy and there's bad reasons to be bitchy. It's like bitchy meaning, the good bitchy is like when you stick up for yourself and someone's just like assumes that you're a bitch because you stuck up for yourself. They can fuck off. The bad bitchy is like when you are just nasty for no fucking reason, and like and just like mean to everyone, and like just doesn't consider anyone else's feelings. That, I would say, is like what you may fall into a bit, or might have some issues with, and it's only because there could be issues underlying where you're compensating for the feeling of not feeling good enough. And you can be someone who sticks up for themselves, but also someone who's compassionate and caring and sticks up for themselves in the right way, the, you know, kind and considerate way. You don't have to be a bitch about it, you know? You could stick up for yourself, but you don't have to be a bitch about it. I'm sorry I kept saying the word bitch. Let me just say, like, you know, you don't have to be mean about it. And I think you are developing into that. I think you are becoming that. That could be already in your path right now. Maybe this is more of like a past, in the past, and this is more of like now. You are becoming this kind, compassionate, healing, emotionally stable person. Okay, I think that's all I have for you right now. And with career-wise, because I don't really talk much career-wise, this could be maybe career-wise too. Like, instead of, you know, learning that a lot of time in career, people let their egos get in the way and they start to snap at and be mean, and just like when someone, for example, you're working at a job and pretend you're the position of the boss, and someone, fucks up. Instead of, understanding and being considerate and being like, oh, this person just fucked up, maybe they're having a bad day. Let me go up to them, communicate with them nicely, being like, hey, can you not do this again? Setting a boundary, respectfully, respecting them. That's like the healthy way of going about it, and like being this, highest self version of yourself. And then the shadow self is like, in a situation like that, is you're the boss, someone fucks up, you go over to them, you scream at them, you yell at them, you disrespect them. You're like, what the fuck is this? Like just like someone who lets their ego get in the way, and it's like, we should be making perfect stuff, like, what is this garbage you're sending out? That's someone who's run by their ego and is insecure within themselves because they feel like they're not good enough, and that everything that they do needs to be perfect. In reality, everyone's human, everyone makes mistakes. You need to be compassionate, understanding, knowing that your employee might have just had a bad day, like, you need to be considerate and like talk to them respectfully. If they mess up again, just be like, hey, sorry, man, like, or if they continue to mess up, be like, hey, man, like, this is just not working out for me. Like, being nice about it. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be mean, And like, also know that I'm not saying like you are mean. You may not even be mean, but you may have maybe compensated at some point to be a little bit more mean, because maybe you were always so nice and always such a nice person that maybe you felt like the only way to stick up for yourself is by being mean. And it's not the case. You could be stand up for yourself, but in a nice way. Two. I didn't even shuffle these. So that's feel like that's what the message is. Let me shuffle these a little bit more. All right, what are some messages? 1, 2, 3. Stubborn and always right. You might be very stubborn and feel like your way is always the right way, and that could be something that maybe you need to be a little bit more open-minded to other people's perspectives, other people's thoughts, the way that everyone's different, everyone has their own opinions, their own thoughts. So sometimes it's good to hear them out and see their perspective and try to consider their perspective and not try to change their perspective as well. We have treat yourself. Maybe you need to treat yourself, bring yourself out somewhere, relax, maybe, take care of your skin, or have a self-healing day, just of like taking care of yourself for a whole day. You could be working at a miserable job right now that might need to be, maybe you're like, this is just not for me, and maybe you're like, I need to quit and maybe find someone that I can marry that could financially support me. And it's like saying, like, don't give up. Maybe this just job isn't for you. Maybe you need to find more job that you're passionate about. And like I said in the last reading, because this card came out, find a way to transition slowly. Like, don't quit your job and then look for a job. Like, look for a job while you're in this job and do interviews and stuff. And then once you get hired, then you quit that job. You give your 2 weeks and be like, hey, I'm quitting soon. I can't work here anymore. 2, 3. We have gets offended when people joke around. You could be someone who maybe is very sensitive to other people's judgments. And one of the things my therapist has said is, know that the only reason why you get so sensitive to when people joke is because you are possibly insecure about something that they already said. You already have this underlying insecurity within you about whatever it is that they said, and that might be something you want to self-reflect on and see, like, wait a second. The reason why they said this and it hurt me and it made me so angry was because blah, blah, blah in the past, blah, 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 some sort of situation. And from that point on, you have to see from their perspective, they didn't mean to, offend you in this way. And even if they did go out of their way to offend you and hurt you, Don't let it get to you, because you're only giving their words more power. You should overcome this insecurity or whatever it is that you are insecure about and realize I am human. I am not perfect. I have flaws, and it's okay that I have flaws. And whatever you say to offend me isn't going to offend me, and I'm going to brush it right off my shoulder. I'm not going to let your words have any more power, and I'm not going to fuel the power. I'm not going to give you power. 2, 3. First job ever, feeling nervous. You might have a job in the future that might be like, for some of you, maybe you are working at a miserable job. For some of you, maybe you aren't, and maybe this could be maybe your first job of like something very serious career, and like you could be really nervous about it. Listen, don't be nervous. There's nothing to be nervous about. You are just as good as the next person next to you. Just because you don't know the reins, that's okay. They'll teach you. And if people criticize you, take advantage of you, don't let them. Be like, listen, I know my worth. I know how much I should be getting paid. I know I should be being respected. Just because I fuck up doesn't mean that I deserve to be screamed and yelled at. Respect yourself. Know that you're a human being and they should treat you like a human being. Okay, that's what I have to say. So that is all I have for you, Part 2. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile of 3s. If you chose the image as well as the pennies, this will be your reading on what you need to hear about your career or your finances. So, off the bat, there could be a financial decision you are looking to make. I think the biggest answer here is yes. Go after it. Yes. Every single card here says yes. So if you're wondering about a decision, you're like, oh, should I take it? Should I not? It's saying yes, take it. The light of it, whatever situation, the light is fleeting. You only have a short amount of time, I feel, to take this opportunity, and the opportunity is fleeting, and you're kind of just like watching it go by, and this is saying like it's time to take action. Definitely taking action. We have multiple priorities, time management, adaptability, balancing decisions. Maybe you're like, oh, I don't have time for this. I don't have blah, blah, blah. And this is saying you're going to have multiple priorities, but you need to figure out within yourself which is your main priority, while also being able to handle these other priorities. It says time management. Best thing you could do is manage your time, become adaptable to this decision or whatever this is, adapt to it so it works out for you. And also it says balancing decisions. You could be balancing, like I said, between these two opportunities. And it's saying something will come of this situation. Whatever it is that you choose, your life will change based on it. And it's saying, I believe your answer to whatever it is yes. Do it. Take the action, take the movement towards it. For the Firefly, the light is fleeting, and the 4 of Wands, we have celebration, joy, harmony, marriage, home, community, homecoming. Maybe specifically is spending time with your friends, family. Maybe you have to take a career opportunity that is saying yes to in order to bring more of this element into your life, celebration, joy. Maybe you're working your ass off at a shitty job, and or you're working your ass off not being able to see your family, and this is saying like maybe this opportunity will allow you to spend more time, or might make you new friends. You may have more celebration, more joy, maybe more harmony. This will bring you more harmony. This could be a better fit for you than whatever it is you're dealing with now. It says home. This could be something related to your home life. And then community, you might build a community within this opportunity. It says homecoming. So I think this job opportunity will bring you a lot of fun, celebration, and joy, and it will be more harmonious in your life, with the movement card here, and it says self-development, perfectionism, misdirected energy, no passion, and uninspired, no motivation. You could be, I think you have movement. I don't think it's that you're uninspired. I think it's that maybe you are misdirecting your activity and falling into perfectionism, and trying to be perfect with whatever it is you're doing. Nothing is ever perfect. Think about, sometimes you need a balance between quantity and quality. You can't focus and work so hard on making every single thing you do perfect, because you will then not be able to provide anything. You won't have any abundance because you're so focused on perfecting this one thing. You need to know when it's good enough and let it go. It could have some flaws, just like how everyone has flaws and everything has flaws. I think perfectionism might be something that might be holding you down and might be a blockage. Misdirected activity. I think you also maybe are misdirecting your activity onto something else that maybe doesn't even matter. Maybe it's something that's like not even, you don't need to even focus on, nobody will even notice type thing. And you're like, it has to look just like this. We have to change this little thing that, no one really cares about. And it's like something that maybe you need to redirect your mind onto the whole, take a step back and realize the whole message that this is supposed to portray. Is that portraying the whole message? Is it getting what it needs to get done already? If it is, then there's no need to change it. We have movement. You could be gaining more momentum. Maybe you have no motivation. If it is no motivation and uninspired, this could be now you are going to gain the momentum. You're going to gain that energy towards your finances, and it's coming soon. Or maybe you're dealing with that right now. We have authenticity. Authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I feel it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. Whoever doesn't get it, they don't have to get it, but at least they know it because I said it, and that's a better way than leaving things passive aggressively. I think being more honest is a message. I think you need to be more of a communicator and sticking up for yourself and speaking up for every single thing. Like something you don't agree with, say it. Something don't people please and hold yourself back or your opinions back or what it is you think back because you're afraid of hurting other people's feelings or the way people perceive you. Who fucking cares how they think of you? What matters is that you're being true and authentic to yourself, and you're being who you truly are. And not being passive aggressive about it too. Like if someone like upsets you, you need to communicate that it upset you and set boundaries instead of being passive aggressive about it. We have lack of inner joy, smugness, dissatisfaction, indulgence, materialism, and inner happiness. So you could be struggling with your inner happiness, lacking inner joy. Maybe you need to find something to bring more joy to your life. You could also be feeling dissatisfied. Smugness, I think, is like someone looking smug. I forgot what that is. It's like they're kind of like giving someone a dirty look. That could just be saying like you're not dealing with people's shit anymore, which is good because you are learning to like respect yourself and prioritize yourself. Indulgence, you may also be indulging in materialism, which might be causing you to lack inner joy and happiness. And then lastly, we have brain power and the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is speed, rapid action, movement, swift change, manifesting quickly, quick decisions, air travel. I think with the brain power, this is a card I created. This is like the whole idea of your brain. If you think of the movie Lucy, she's like basically we only use 20% of our brain, and our brains are so much powerful than we realize, that can do so much more than we realize. And like manifesting and creating, like you could literally create whatever it is you think about. Like it's almost like in a realistic way you could literally set your mind to something and go after it, but then more in like a spiritual way you can like manifest what it is you want in your life with your mind. Like when you put your mind to something, like you could literally manifest something, even like thinking about something too, like for example, those coincidences or like spiritual messages where it's like you're literally thinking about something so much that someone around you says something and you're like, wait a second, I was just thinking that. How did you just think that? Or for example, you could think so much about something like, oh, I hope this person's parents doesn't come home. I hope their parents don't come home. Or I hope they're, like when you're hanging out with someone and then their parents come home and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, and that was the only time that has ever happened. It's like just a coincidence that you're like, I feel like I manifest that to happen. Anyways, I think you have the speed, you have the action, you have the momentum, you have everything in your power, you have the brain power to manifest things quickly and make the quick decisions to get to where you want. You have the ability. I think you're also very smart to bring this into your future. I think this is what that is trying to say. You also maybe have some air travel coming to you soon. Okay, thank you so much, pile 3. Oh wait, sorry. Actually, I need to do these messages. I almost missed a step. I apologize. Give me the freaking... Okay, we're gonna shuffle these career messages. Something about you or something you may need to know, pile 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We have been working here for 10 years. You could be working somewhere that you've been working for so long, or maybe a short time because it came in reverse, but you may be already contemplating to work somewhere else, and it's saying like, don't worry about that. Also, if you spent 10 years there and you're worrying like, oh, like, well, I've been here for so long, why would I change now? Change is, why stay for somewhere so long like that? Like, it's, the whole point in life is to change and continue developing, not, holding yourself back. We have focus on my school first. You might need to focus more on your school. Schooling, maybe if you're going to school, or maybe someone in your life needs to start focusing more on their school. Let's see what else. We have partner business. So you might end up in a partner business where you're working with someone else, and you might be like a bit lacking passion or uninspired because of that. Or maybe you're going to find more movement into that, and there could be a little bit of criticism and perfectionism that might get in the way. We have jumping from job to job. It's okay to jump from job to job. Don't worry if you're jumping from job to job. Whatever isn't suiting you isn't suiting you. I think one of the things, though, is you can find a lot of dissatisfaction with the jobs you are looking for, but also I wouldn't... it might be good to stay at a job for maybe longer than a year, because I know people will look at your resume, and when people see you jumping from job to job, they just think you're gonna jump from their job as well. So, but that's just authentically you. Maybe that's just, that's how you're doing it right now because you aren't ready to stay at one place, and that's perfectly fine. But once you find a place that you feel like you could stay at, stay there for a bit. I'm not saying you have to stay there forever, but definitely, give it a fighting chance. Just to spend some time there, We also have working in the food industry. You could be, maybe you want to work in the food industry, maybe your passion is cooking, and I say you have the ability to do it, pursue it, do it. You can do it. The answer is yes. Alright, thank you so much, Pile 3. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you in one of my next ones. Bye!